Today I want to talk about aging and invisibility. This is a thing for us as women, especially postmenopausal women. We've lost a lot of beauty. We have to find another kind of beauty if we're fortunate enough to be able to do that for one reason or the other. But maybe we're looking for inner beauty, something. But there's invisibility can be an issue for us. And it's not because of vanity. It's because culture, and I live in the United States, I'm in Southern California, I live on the West Coast, but culture doesn't honor women aging, at least not this culture. And overall, there are some exceptions, of course, but overall, we're kind of considered, go sit in the corner, you're a has-been, you're not relevant. Half the time, do I even know how to use all of my phone? No, not without the help from TikTok. But this is a really important issue. And I'm going to talk about today how I decided to really embrace growing old, obviously. So before about 10 years ago, my hair was dyed brown. You can tell my hair was originally black. It's back here in the back, it's still kind of blackish. And same haircut, been doing this for a long time. And it was dyed brown, and it was dyed brown for a long time. I started dyeing my hair in my 20s because it started going gray very early. And but I had, at that point, I was an athlete for many years, a mom, a business person, an artist. I'm an artist. And I was lucky enough that from behind, I looked younger. And because of all that exercise. But my hair was brown, and so guys would come up, I was in a marriage, and that wasn't part of it. I could literally be walking down the street and some guy would come up and touch the back of my hair or something, and then picture it dark, and I'd turn around and there'd be this huge insuck. And the insuck is what I named that experience because it happened to me all the time. And I laugh about it now because it's funny. It doesn't happen anymore. But that insuck of like, oh my God, she's so much older than I thought. And I was at a time in my 30s, 40s, into my 50s where, I could have done something about it. I could have got some Botox or something else. But I'm an artist, and I couldn't figure out why I would want to spend my money that way when I still needed a retirement or I needed to work for the next show or something. And I just wasn't that motivated to do it. So I never did. So this is me, 61, with a lifetime of sunblock. But when I decided to grow my hair, it was phenomenal. The reactions were so dramatic. All the women my age thought it was a bad idea. Most of them in my age. I had a few friends at the time do some intervention lunches where they can take me lunch and tell me what a terrible mistake I'm making. But that wasn't a problem for me. The strangest thing was that little children trusted me and walked up to me. Little toddlers would walk up and say, "Grandma." That took a while to get used to, but it was very sweet. And in a lot of young men, like millennial men and Gen Xers, would come up with their girlfriends or wives in tow and say, "Look at her. See, it looks good. You don't have to dye your hair. You're fine." And I thought that was interesting. Not like I intended to be a role model for gray hair, but that's kind of what happened in that way, in my very, very small way, my very small life. But I do want to talk about that because invisibility is a huge thing for us. And we have to decide at a certain point when we accept how we actually look. And this is even a young woman's problem. When I was in my 20s, I was struggling with compulsive overeating. I went to a therapist at my college, and it was a really interesting thing. I had body dysmorphia, so I thought I was terribly, terribly fat at 150 pounds, 5'10". Of course I wasn't, but that was how body dysmorphia works. nonetheless, in my mind, I was really dealing with this. And I remember at one point my therapist telling me the key to healing will be you really need to accept exactly where you are and exactly who you are. And if you think you're fat, then accept being fat. And that was a huge shift. It took some practice. It was a spiritual practice. It took a few years before it really sunk in. And now I don't have that issue at all. I'm even heavier than that, and I still don't have that issue. I'm perfectly happy with where I am. But that also taught me when I was ready to go gray that it's important to accept going gray. I didn't think I would go gray until I was 70 or 80. I don't know, that seemed like a magic number. But, you know, my hair was growing in so quickly. I would get a skunk stripe of white hair when I, you know, and then I was constantly thinking about my hair, myself. Like, you know, oh, is my part showing? Are the little sparkly showing? Is a little white halo around my head? And does it make me look older? And, you know, I'd find people, you know, I'd be trying to do things to cover it up, and then it would rain and I'd have black dye running down my face. Not attractive. Nonetheless, those are all things we can try, and I certainly tried them. And then I finally, and you know, I haven't looked back, because what a relief. I didn't even cut it short. I just kind of let it slowly ombre itself back. I tied it up. I did different things with it. I even just wore it down with just ombre. And you know what? It was fine. So I think accepting who we are and where we are in life is probably one of the first huge things for describing, for the foundation of what's going to happen next. Because just because we're postmenopausal and some people think we're irrelevant, maybe culture thinks we're irrelevant, it doesn't matter. It only matters what we think and what we can do about ourselves. So I'm just here to say in my little few minutes with you that what you do today, I hope you take a step towards accepting where you are in life, and then also taking some time to really think about your purpose, because that's what gets us through. That gives us the spark. And I hope you find that as well. That'll be the subject of another video. But for now, I want to leave you with a message that menopause is an ending, but it is also a beginning. And the postmenopausal life takes guts. It's a lot less physically comfortable. Hot flashes, skin changes, you name it. There's all sorts of stuff. All of that aside, we do have a certain strength that comes with it. So I just want to encourage you all to live your absolute happiest self. Choose happiness. I don't know what that means to you, but sometimes it's a daily decision. But choose happiness, and have a great day. Love you.